Hello, hello, hello. Hello, everybody. I am Stacey Thomas, and you're watching a segment of the Stacey Thomas Show. It is the business block. Stacey, what is the business block? I'm glad you asked. Thank you. The business block is to promote local businesses, change makers in the communities, and entrepreneurs, right? So it was originally started for local businesses. That's the main area. But I figure if you have a business online and you're catering to people anywhere, you're welcomed on the show too. But I've got to tell you, I'm extra excited tonight. Dustin's back. Dustin's back. If you don't know who Dustin is, if you don't know Dustin's past, head over to YouTube, look at my interview with Dustin. Dustin is very amazing. Let me hit Instagram and I'll be right back. There we go. I think we're live. So let's bring Dustin on. Hey,
Hey
hey,
there.
hey.
How are you
Dustin,
doing, Stacey?
I'm good. Dustin, please forgive me that I smile so much when you come on. It's just that watching you and your husband on Facebook and looking at all the exciting things that are happening, and you guys are living life, and I sit here smiling like I've been invited to the party.
Absolutely. Well, we want to invite anybody that wants to go along on the journey that we're, providing for the community here in the Commonwealth and across the Tri-City area.
Wow, congratulations on, and I want to say it right, Abracus.
Abraxas Home Care.
Abraxas, you just told me, Abraxas Home Care. Let's start with, because I see, you were running for delegate. I
Yeah.
knew you're a nurse, but at the same time, you're steadily doing things to show other people how you care about the community. But what inspired you, or you and your husband, to start Abracus Home Care?
So, about 9 years ago, me and Joseph were working the floor as nurses, and we kind of wanted to get out of the mainstream and out of floor nursing. We wanted to provide nursing care to the community in our home, but still provide that same nursing care that we were doing on the floor. And at the time, Joseph was actually working for a lady that owned group homes, and she was very generous with the information to get us started on building a group home with the Department of Behavioral Health and Developmental Services here in Virginia. So we started actually out with a franchise agency, and then we worked for them for almost 6 years. And then after working for them for 6 years, and kind of took notes on how things were running. The entire business kind of took out on our own and built our own license. And we've been doing so for the last 3 years now with the Department of Behavioral Health and Developmental Services.
Wow, wow. I'm going to tell you, a few years ago, I went to a meeting in the city of Richmond, because I was thinking about opening a home. Didn't know what type of home, but a home. And I remember the person saying there that it was so hard to find good homes for people to get the proper care. And wondered, I actually asked, well, why not move them to another home? And they said that there wasn't enough homes. There wasn't enough homes to move the people that were in bad homes. And then I see someone like you posting pictures of what you've built to help people. How would you describe the heart of the mission that you guys have had to create this, and how does it differ from these places that a lot of people are trying to get patients out of?
So I'm not sure if you remember from when I was running, but my mother and my sister both had intellectual disabilities, and so does my two of my cousins. So I was raised around individuals that require a little bit extra supports, and family members that worked in special education and just within special needs individuals in general. So I have a specific special place for individuals with special needs in my heart. And working within the nursing community, I came to realize, working through Joseph, that some of these homes were not used to working with nurses, and they didn't have the medical supports they needed, and they were actually falling through the cracks by just seeing the things that Joseph was exposed to through his employment. Not that it was a bad thing, it's just there was a lack of nurses. It's an underserved community. It's the forgotten about community because a lot of times it's these individuals struggle with communication. So formerly, the Commonwealth of Virginia actually had individuals with intellectual disabilities within locked facilities before they would branch out and actually expanded their residential program. We were part of that expansion through, like I said, our former agency. We were affiliated with Wall Residences, and now it's Abraxas Home Care because we kind of moved away from that franchise. So we realized that there was a real big need for individuals to receive nursing care or nursing oversight care within the community because there was really a lack of that because they, like I said, they were the forgotten about community for so long.
Wow. So tell us about your facility because I have to be honest with you. As I watch you on Facebook and I see what your facility offers, how is it? Did it take a long time to find out who would be a part of this team with the other partners you've taken on? Or was it just like something, okay, I know who I'm gonna get, and that was it?
So we started out very, very small with one group home, 4 beds, with a co-ed model there, with maybe individuals that may have some mobility needs and some medical supports. I had a home here in the Highlands in Chesterfield County that my mother was a part of. She actually was a part of that franchise originally with Wall Residences. And she was a provider with them. She actually passed away a couple years ago. My mother was a single mother, like most people know, because I had talked about before, and she was actually providing their support. So that home in the Highlands is actually for and women primarily with intellectual disabilities and may have some behavioral support needs as well, which a lot of people are determined to want to provide those supports because they're a little bit leery to do so because of the stigma of a group home that, when we look back into the 80s when group homes were looked at with these bad homes and, subpar places, we really wanted to break that stigma by providing that nursing support. And these individuals deserve to live in nice homes too. They can live in the Highlands. They can live in homes that are not, subpar. They deserve that.
Right, right. And you have transportation
We
and
do.
medical services?
We do. We provide skilled nursing services supports for individuals that may need those supports within the homes. We can provide those under the waiver through Department of Behavioral Health, which is actually a Medicaid waiver support service. And then we're also able to provide the transportation. And then we also have a new community engagement program, which we just opened up, the BB Legacy Center in Hopewell, Virginia, which is our touchdown spot for that community engagement program.
So explain that, Dustin.
So,
What?
community engagement program is focused on providing support to individuals beyond the disability, just like you and I. So, when you and I go to the same store every day, we begin to build a rapport with the community, correct? Which is a non-paid relationship. And the idea of that program is to build those same supports for those individuals that may require someone to help them do so. Um, Building that support at the local post office, going to the local grocery store, building that support. We frequent the YMCA. We do community bingo at nursing homes once a month currently. And then we're also building the volunteer program for those individuals because they want to give back to the community too, because they've received, the supports they've received in the community and they feel the drive to want to give back too.
Dustin, are you still a nurse?
I am. I am. I do nursing on a different aspect now, but nursing is definitely a career that I am very proud of because it's provided me a lot of opportunities over the years.
It's amazing because you're doing so much. I mean,
Absolutely. I love it though. It keeps me busy and it keeps me focused on what's really truly close to my heart, and that's providing back to the community and just keep moving forward.
so Dustin, is it one home? How many homes do you have now?
We currently have 2 licensed homes. One is a co-ed home that is a little bit more for people that may have mobility issues and more medical needs. And then we have another home, which is a 4 bed home that is primarily focused on women's support needs. And we have some aspirations to expand in the future, but right now it's just the 2 homes. And then we have the new day support and corporate office here in Hopewell, Virginia.
Wow. Dustin, for those, because when people hear about what you have, when people read up on you, it's gonna grow. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years with this business?
We hope to continue to grow our community engagement program and continue to expand that out into the community because I feel like that is where we can really capitalize on just ensuring that the individuals feel like they're a part of the community and integrated them into the community and really making them part of that community engagement by expanding our volunteer services, expanding our access to that community engagement, and potentially even growing more so with building another center in a different part of the area, potentially expanding into the Petersburg area and then out towards Dinwiddie in that way. Right now, we're primarily focused on Chester, Enon, Hopewell, and then around to Prince George areas. So, and we do have a wait list at this moment.
Wow, really?
Yes, ma'am.
And I smile because from the last time I interviewed you, it's just amazing how in times like this, what we're going through in this country, people don't realize that there's still a lot of people out here that care. People
Absolutely.
people look at nurses, and I think I need to say this. People look at nurses, and I've heard people complain about nurses in hospitals, but they don't realize how nurses do care. It's just that there's a lot going on, right?
There's a whole lot going on at the bedside and hospitals and things like that. And just and that's kind of why I got out of floor nursing to degree because it became about not being so person centered. And with me wanting to run my own program, I could really focus on being person centered, focusing around the needs of that person and really capitalizing on what we can do for that person and provide the services that they need because it just became about documentation and not so much about the client in the hospital setting. I wanted to bring that person centered and actually bring it down to a smaller level and a small business level because you can really focus in on the person.
Wow. Is there anything that you are not doing now that you hope to do, like partner with someone or create new programs?
So we are actually getting ready to expand our program. So we basically have hired a nurse practitioner that's going to be doing some um, kind of primary care oversight. We're working with her to build on that program and capitalize on that too, like to just make sure that it is a concierge service to what we're already doing. It doesn't cost the individual anything. We're providing a supplement to primary care is sick visits to our employees so that nurse practitioner will be able to mobilize a nurse practitioner anytime that our individuals have a med change or like I said, a sick visit, they have a cold or something like that. We can do so within the home so they don't have to go out and maybe they can't get into their PCP because they're booked. A lot of people are having a hard time having access to their PCP. So like I said, we try to figure out how we can, make our service unique and just provide a better service for the individuals with a person-centered approach.
I know you and Joseph are doing what you're doing now, but you better be careful. Somebody's gonna come after y'all to head a hospital.
Oh,
You,
I'm not sure if we want to have a hospital. I love being community-based services. I did hospital for a little bit and I did nursing homes and things of that nature too, but I love being in the community because I think we can provide a lot of the services that we provide within a facility within the community. Like I said, I did some home health too for a while. So I'm trying to, utilize all the experience and bring it in and try to make sure our service is providing the best we can do,
I'm gonna need.
especially
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
especially because our individuals, like I said, I'm very passionate about, making sure we're educated on that they are the forgotten community. A lot of times they fall through the cracks. So providing as much services for those individuals we can is my main goal.
I'm gonna need these folks out here to realize, Dustin, how they need to follow you and how they need to see what you all are doing so they can do better. Tell me, what is the most rewarding thing out of what you're doing? What has been the most rewarding thing for you?
The most rewarding thing for me is when right now, especially I can kind of relate to this because I've kind of moved out. As you know, me and Joseph we for the last 9 years, we've been living on site. So we lived where we worked. The individuals lived in my home. Um, so I kind of like a little sad about that and kind of like emotional about it too because I miss them. So when I come
Oh,
to the house like 6 o'clock in the morning. So when I come to the door, they're like running to the door to see me because I lived in a home for so long. So I was like the head of the house, all like the fatherly figure, whatever you want to call it. So that's the most rewarding thing is like when I come in the door, they look for me and they look for my husband to also come in and speak to them because we're moved out of the home. So we were a family we're still a family. It's a different model now that we're working on. So
Bless you both. Bless you both.
thank you.
And I know you're really busy, and I want to thank you again for coming on. Is there anything that I did not ask that you feel our viewers need to know?
No, just sometimes we talk about we continue to talk about nursing homes, things of that nature, but there's individuals that are in group homes that during the holidays, not necessarily my homes, because we try to make sure there's individuals that are taken care of, but beyond nursing homes, some people that are in group homes, if you're doing anything for the holidays, make sure we look after our group homes and things of the community as well, beyond my homes, like I said.
Wow. So. Dustin, I have one other question.
Yes, ma'am.
For people that are looking for a place for their loved ones, Dustin, can you give us like 2 things that they should look for when they're trying to find a home?
Absolutely. So you should always look at the state rating, how their state license, to make sure that their license is in good standing, to make sure that they have been compliant with all the regulatory processes. And then just also you should be able to walk around the home and make sure that it feels comfortable, that it actually feels like a home, that somebody lives there, that it's not some bare wall, whitewash facility that's, white walls and very institutionalized. It should feel like a home with artwork on the walls. You should be able to walk into them and just feel warm inside instead of like a facility. And that should be the goal of anybody, is making sure we take care of people in their homes, because that's where people want to, they thrive at, is in their homes.
Right. Dustin, it's been great. It's great. It's been great. And as you grow, if I see something else pop up, I'm going to be in your inbox again. Dustin, it's time to come back on, please.
Absolutely.
How do we follow you? How do we keep up with what you're doing? How do people support?
Absolutely. So you can go to our website, abraxashomecare.org. We also have a Facebook website where we post about new events. We're actually going to be in 4 parades this Christmas. We're going to be doing the Colonial Heights Christmas Parade, the City of Hopewell, Prince George County, and then Chester. So we are posting about those activities on, like I said, social media. We're helping collect for food banks right now, so you can follow us on Instagram too, as well.
Okay. Thank you, Dustin.
Not a problem. Thank you for having me.
I'm wishing y'all the very best. Thank you for not only taking the blessings for yourself, taking in how people appreciate you, but thank you for blessing those that you are blessing, okay? And take care of yourself.
Absolutely. You too, Stacey. Thank you again. Have a nice evening.
Have a good night.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Attention business owners, are you ready to turn your purpose into powerful publicity? Tune into the Business Block, Purpose to Business with Stacey Thomas, every Monday at 6:30 a.m. on Cool 101.2 Pop. We spotlight entrepreneurs, change makers, and passionate business owners just like you. When you advertise, you're not just on the radio. You're featured across social media too, amplifying your brand far beyond the airwaves. Call 804-214-6241 or visit IamStaceyThomas.com to book your spot. Cool 101.2, where your passion becomes your platform.